We are just a few steps away from our first test drive with our monster trike. Last week we designed a gas tank out of cardboard, and now we need to make it for real out of aluminum and get our rear steer working. Yes, this giant tractor-tired tricycle is going to have 3-wheel steer.
I don't know how much I'm going to actually be able to bend it. I mean, definitely not actually enough, but... Still not enough. Come on, man. How much does it take? See, that makes such a better bend anyway when I score it. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna have to start tacking things together. I may end up having to cut them apart. Overall, it's looking pretty dang good. Not bad for a Humi. A Humi. Steven, do you know what a Humi is?
No, I don't know if I know that one.
You don't know what a Humi is? If somebody asks you a question and you say, who, me?
Oh.
You're a Humi.
I am a Humi.
Everybody's a Humi at some point.
Yeah.
But a Humi, in Chris's vocabulary, is like somebody that's just is always asking that. Who, me? Like somebody who's kind of clueless is a Humi.
Yeah, exactly.
Some stuff like this, you know, could have been one piece if I'd been able to plan for it, but can't figure everything. Just cardboard. Oh, right. That's how that was going to work. I forgot. Oh well, I mean, this works as well.
What is the difference between like aluminum and steel for the same amount of volume?
You know, I don't actually know. That's a good question.
We'll ask the audience, what's heavier, 1 pound of steel or 1 pound of aluminum? Ah, yes.
Very good question. There's a little gap right here, which I could easily fill that gap, of course. But if I just, when I cut this apart, when I put it back, if I make sure that this point goes all the way into the corner, but this point stays the same, then it should tweak that a little bit. And then the other issue I have, like if you look at it from straight side on, it's about the right angle. But if you look at it from here, it's not, because it comes out to the center of this instead of straight down, which I may try to solve. Now that I got it all tacked, I'm getting the seams all cleaned up properly before I weld them. So Chris taught me to weld like 20-something years ago. Now it's my turn. Back when Chris learned to weld, TIG wasn't really a thing. No. Or if it was, it wasn't popular. It was something that it was very expensive and unattainable. So Chris never learned TIG. So while I'm welding this up, I'm showing him aluminum TIG. Process is really the same between AC and DC. It just feels very different. The experience is very different, but aesthetically it looks basically the same.
So this is like an 1/8 inch away.
Ideally less. If you hold it a little too far away, when the tungsten's not like brand new and not super clean, it takes it, like you can see it's all sputtery. It won't start the arc if it's too far away, so you gotta get fairly close.
A little close.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh. I mean, you're getting there. You get the idea. Now it's just a bajillion hours of practice.
Yeah, right? Looks better than the first time I baked.
see the gas tank. Look at it. Diesel tank, whatever. No, Freddy doesn't care. All welded up. Had to drill a hole here because it was airtight, and as I was trying to finish the last weld, it was like blowing air out of there. So anyway, that's about where the filler cap is gonna go. Right now, it's situated perfectly, as far as I can tell. Like, looking at it aesthetically, all the arrangements, it all fits money. So, I'm gonna mount it before I move it or do anything else. I'm gonna make a tab off of the frame. I'll take a piece of this, like 1x1/4 aluminum stuff, and I'll run that all the way across there, and then run it long on both ends. Put a hole in each end, and then that will weld to the tank and sit on the steel tabs so that it doesn't, vibrate and wear through the tank or whatever, and then bolt at the ends. This video is sponsored by Huckberry, the one-stop men's shop for the world's highest quality apparel, footwear, and gear to outfit your next adventure.
My favorite part about Huckberry is that there's categories for outdoors, fishing, whatever you're looking for, there's a category on Huckberry, even made in America. These are the Flint and Tinder pants, super comfy, super light, perfect for summer. And you'll also notice they do some huge collaborations with brands. You'll find that on Huckberry, and you'll find massive brands like Vans. So it really is the one-stop men's shop. So click our link in the description. It really supports the channel. Huckberry has been a huge sponsor this year. Shopping can be super frustrating, and they just make it easy. So that's why we like Huckberry, and I think you will too. Now let's get back to the trike.
Schmanciness do we want here? I'm thinking some of these. We have a boatload and a half of them, and they look really nice. They are Torx, which is a little less convenient, but it's the fuel tank. How often are you gonna need to move the fuel tank? Honestly, having this bar run all the way across really is super unnecessary, but it just makes it way easier because I can just have both of them attached, fit the whole thing up in there instead of trying to hold a teeny tiny little piece of aluminum and tack it on and all of that. So something really interesting. I've been TIG welding both steel and aluminum for, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years now. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of it, but I still learn new tricks pretty frequently, like mostly in the form of different settings on the welder more than anything else. Like after welding up those A-arms on the Humvee, I was doing so much welding, I just kept messing around with the settings, trying different things, just slight variations in pulse timing, amperage, that kind of stuff. And then coming back to this tube and using those settings here right next to a weld that I did before, I'm like, wow, that made a huge difference. That welded much faster and cleaner than what the settings I was using before. So the moral of the story is, if you find settings that work, that's good, but also don't be afraid to try new things. Solidly tacked. Fuel tank mounted. Thing is solid. Move the whole vehicle with it. Also, I went looking for some, bits and pieces for this, and I found this. I didn't even know these exist. Look at that. It's made for exactly this. It has all the stuff you need. It's got a filler cap. It's got wiring ports, inlet, outlet, vent, all the good stuff. I also need to shorten and tidy up the rest of the wires. Something like that. And that is about the safest place it could possibly be on this machine. So yeah, and then I could mount the relays across the sides here and stuff. That's gonna be really nice and tidy. Also, I remembered from our dumpster diving session earlier this year, I had a few of these, which is just like a rubber pad thing that's sticky on one side, which would be great for putting on the back side of the ECU so that it's got a little bit of cushion. Look at that. Beautiful thing.
That's great.
I went searching through my random spacer collection and I found these, which are already threaded. They just have that little nubbin on the end, but I can delete that very easily. And they have a nice flange here to weld on. I just have to design up a bracket that fits these and that. Cut out a couple of them. Hey, look at that. That's pretty nice. Look at that. That looks super duper nice. Now we're just gonna cut out the other side. Shop geese. Look, Chris, we have shop geese. Einstein, don't chase away the shop geese. Oh, good, they're already pooping on the floor. Well, that's inevitable with shop geese. Hey, gooses, where's the honk sack? Honk! Nope. Honk, honk. Look at that, I've got the majority of this done. I thought this was gonna take longer. I mean, it has taken a while, but it's getting there. I only have 4 bundles of 2, so 9 wires left to splice in this. Getting closer.
Woo! That is tarnished, man. You know it's bad when you're not even sure what color your engine is. What's the difference between an engine and a motor? Like normally if it's a dirt bike, you call it a motor, but if it's a car, you call it an engine, but really it's interchangeable, isn't it?
Here's the thing. It has socks, you just can't see them.
I have the little socks.
I knew I'd catch you one of these days.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do something, you gotta show up with your socks on.
Oh.
You gotta have your socks on and be ready to go. Right? If you don't have your socks on, you're not ready. Especially if you're welding.
And today I arrived in my tiny truck with my Crocs on.
Uh-oh. Crocs and no socks. That's double bad. Double bad.
But I'm not welding today. I'm just cleaning motors and wrenching a little.
Good enough to mount a few relays. I put them in backward. What an idiot. Nice!
This is the parts cleaner. We've had this for a long time, apparently. I've never used it.
We've had it since we moved into the shop.
That's a long time.
Well, I'd say that relay mount turned out pretty nice. Honestly, the inside surface of this gas tank made for an excellent place to just mount all sorts of things. Now I need a fuse box, and I think I've decided I'm gonna do 2. I ordered a couple different styles, but I think I'm gonna actually use both of these, because one, I probably need more than 6 fuse slots, and I could have ordered a bigger one, but here's the thing. These ones are designed so you put power to here and ground to here, and then you hook up each individual accessory separately. So that's why I ordered this style of one, so that I could have the output from this main relay that supplies all the computer stuff, all the engine stuff, so that when you turn the key on, the output from that goes straight to this, and it powers up all these fuses at once. It seems a little silly to have two separate ones, but, you know, I think it kind of makes sense.
We really switched some kind of alternate dimension timeline situation when Ethan got the ducks in the first place. So now that they're reproducing themselves here, I've never been around this kind of thing before.
Hello, ducks. We have our co-parenting ducks here. Why are there only like 5 eggs?
Don't bite me too much, lady.
This one's got like little cracks on it.
The whole situation is more different than I could even comprehend. Also, the fact that the dogs know not to eat the goose. Bjorn is a bird killer.
The reason that they're okay with the geese is because the whole time we've had the geese, like, we've not allowed the dogs to chase them or anything. Like, when the geese were tiny, we introduced them to the dogs. Like, dogs are really good at learning, like, that kind of stuff.
Been doing some archaeology here, and you can see the top end has definitely been gone through, but also, look at this. The bottom end has been gone through. So hopefully that was somewhat recent and they did a somewhat good job. Because it'd be a bummer to do this again and blow it up immediately again, but that does seem to be our luck. I don't know if everyone experiences this, but the first time I watched Matrix Reloaded, it was really late at night. Not Reloaded, just the first one, The Matrix. And you know the scene where they're explaining things that go wrong in the Matrix, like deja vu, seeing the same black cat twice, like these are signs that they just made a change to the Matrix. I remember like watching that for the first time and being like, wow, that is my reality. And now every time I'm around the ducks or the geese or any kind of like domesticated bird, I'm like, that is a sign that they're changing the Matrix around us. And so I don't know if anyone else experiences life that way, but that is certainly how I do. Oh no! Oh, they just pooped on the floor, man. Just disrespectful. This one pooped too. Safety Steve's good at chess.
Ethan's beat me in chess once or twice.
No. I beat you because you let me.
I guess I did say, this is what I'm doing and why.
Yeah, you also, like, question my moves. You're like, are you sure you want to do that? That's not me beating you at chess. That's you teaching me how to be better at chess.
So when you live in a small town, this is how you get mineral oil. This is for oiling a wooden cutting board. And this is what has successfully kind of worked in the Changli, so...
Does that one say mineral oil only? I can't remember.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It also seems like there's brake fluid in there at the moment, but...
Who knows, honestly. Edwin, you know how you're always surprised when I, like, remember something from, like, 5 years ago and where it is?
Yeah.
Here's a good example of something similar. Chris, what's this random piece of scrap metal from?
That's a whole sprocket from Griffin.
From a what? Groupin was a business that Chris had like 27 years ago. And he recognized this piece of scrap metal from that as being a piece of scrap metal from his business 27 years ago. Chris used to have a company called Groupin, and he built recycling equipment, big old shredders and conveyor belts and that sort of stuff.
We're about ready to plumb this thing. I'm doing plumbing on a plumbing channel.
I did some plumbing this morning.
Wow, look at us plumbing away.
I made a little bit of a mistake with this thing, and that I'm not exactly sure where it happened, aside from I messed up a measurement, and these bolts don't line up. Found that out after I cleaned it all up and put in some rib nuts. I used up all the aluminum making the gas tank, so I'm just gonna roll with it. And also, 2 bolts is more than enough to hold on this fuse block. So. He keeps running out there thinking Kylie's back from town. He hears something and he's like, "Oh, is my mother home?"
Is Einstein just not a natural swimmer?
He is, but if we go paddleboarding, he's probably gonna jump out and be afraid.
That'll also make it a lot easier for you to pull him back onto the...
Pick him up, pull him back onto the paddleboard.
Look at that. So tidy.
Wow, all sorts of mail today.
Woo, look at that. That's what we've been looking for.
Sweet. This is how we shift the transmission?
These are the droids we're looking for, yeah.
Cool.
It's literally just the thing that shifts the transmission into park.
You know, I forgot the golden rule. The golden rule states, put things back together in the order that you took them off.
I haven't heard that before.
That's maybe the pink rule, we'll call it, for Cindy. Because I did just make it up, which is why I never heard it before, but it does make a lot of sense. I think this is gonna drive today if everything goes according to plan. You wanna see something cool, Chris?
Yeah.
I was thinking of you this morning.
Bang! Wow!
Wow. See? See what kind of effect I have on people?
So I have one more little thing to mount here, and this is just a 60 amp circuit breaker that I got for the glow plug circuit. Rather than a fuse, when this trips, it just gets reset. And I don't really feel like making a mount for it, so I'm just gonna use a sticky pad from one of the GoPro mounts, which is pretty much the perfect size. Look at this.
That is actually like extremely
Like, it's just the right size. Put that just somewhere down here. The other end of it isn't hooked to anything right now. Perfect. Okay.
All right, I'm just not gonna miss.
I mean, it'd be kind of hard to miss the funnel.
Go. Radiator's full. Ha! Not bad. This battery had a cell die, so the max voltage is about 14, which is perfect. And he said this has enough power to crank the K truck, so it'll certainly have enough power for this little single cylinder. Okay.
That's a good sign. Sure is.
Oh, that's not.
You'll everywhere. Turn off. You just turn the key off, Edwin. That would be, yeah, that's not even like finger tight.
Okay.
So just tighten up that fitting right there.
Yeah.
Probably an 11/16.
This is always how you want to start off a project. Right before you start running it, you just want to give it a nice covering in fuel. Well, that's better. Seems to be in neutral. A little happy juice too, because it needed it to start in here.
Yeah, and I mean, there's probably still a bunch of old gas in that carburetor. I mean, just a little squirt. Woo! Give it a little more. I don't think we're getting any fuel through the regulator. This might be the return line. It might be supposed to go here. Yeah, this hose will work just fine.
Einstein, what do you have? Is that a whale? Come here. Come here. Is it a whale?
What have you been thinking about today? I saw you staring off into the distance. Anything going on up there?
Doubtful. All right, now. Got the regulator adjusted near as I can tell. I adjusted it till it started pissing fuel out, and then I adjusted it back with it idling until it stopped. Just barely. So hopefully, that's enough fuel, but we probably just need that other regulator, would be my guess.
Man, it's so awesome to have this thing ready to rip again.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and once we determine that it runs and rides right, we gotta put some new front shocks on that thing. We'll put some longer ones on there, and it'll wheelie better too, because then the front won't be so nosedivey.
Yeah.
Well, Edwin, watch out for these obstacles.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, hello, gooses!
Man, it's great to have Sandy back.
Oh man, it hasn't sounded that good in years.
It feels good, but I don't want to clutch drop it because the chain doesn't sound right. It's also not getting enough fuel.
Oh, but man, what a great machine.
Well, that was fun.
No, it rips. Feels good.
It really does.
I forgot how cramped that thing is. I haven't driven it in so long. It's very, very controllable, and you almost never even need the brakes. Just the engine braking and the lift-off oversteer.
Yeah.
Where you just let off the throttle and it just backs into a corner.
Yeah.
It's just
It's really
money.
nice.
And the Colonel's like that too, just on a bigger scale. Hi! I'm going to catch one of you. I know you're not happy about that, but it's just the goose life, okay? Some of them are way more upset when you pick them up than others. This apparently is one of the upset ones. What do you think of the Barbie Jeep, Goose? Huh? Einstein, you're not helping. Hey, Goose is already traumatized enough. See, the thing is, they don't really mind being handled. They just hate being caught.
The other ones don't even have his back. Like their
Oh, not at
boy,
all. They're just like, yeah, he's just on his own.
like their boy just got taken up, and they don't care one bit.
Einstein, quit being a little dork. Come here. I'm not trying to torture you.
Oh look, the ducks are defending Einstein, but they didn't defend their own duck. What the heck?
Chill, bro.
I know, what is happening? There you go, that's how you do it.
Good boy.
Why is that so hard, Einstein?
Sit.
Einstein, you're a menace.
Just more and more wiring here. This time we're getting to something new, though. Wiring in the transmission plug. So right now I'm hooking it up to the CAN wires. I'm just tying in where they go from the ECU to the OBD2 port. Getting close to being done with the engine-related wiring. You hold
I'm gonna hold this end.
that end. Just kind of that.
You're reeling me in like a fish.
Fish power, man. This showed up.
Oh, fancy.
Unfortunately, I could only find ones designed for 2 fuel pumps. And we do have 2, but they're not both in the tank. The cool thing is, it's got a weld-on bung ring thingamajig there, so we can just unbolt that. Put it up there, trace it, cut it, weld it, And we'll have a way to connect our fuel pumps through the tank. So that's the outside edge. Oh, that blade works great. Let there be fuel. And this thing isn't doing me any good anyway due to the way that it is. Okay, that just unsets. Easy peasy. Yeah, no, I think it looks good flush. I'm trying to think of what to do to hang the pump in there so that it doesn't bounce around everywhere. Bend something to shape. Gonna have to have some interesting bends in it to reach down into the corner of the tank there. And then it could just be hose clamped onto the side of it like that. Not easily, but it does bend. So we're going kind of like half an inch or so below. That on there like that. And then we got our fuel pump hanger. Sounds like my keys. Weld it all up, and while that is cooling off, I will make the hose and wires for this. I just had a funny thought. What if I just put the two fuel pumps like this?
Just in a sequence?
Well, yeah, like both inside the fuel tank, because, like, in the car, I get it. You've got this pump in the tank, and then this one is at the front of the vehicle. And you've got, 10 plus feet of fuel line in between. So this is like the booster pump. But the thing is, the fuel line from this to the fuel rail is just like 2 feet, which would be pretty much exactly the same distance if I mounted this outside of the tank. And if I put this inside the tank, that just greatly simplifies everything.
Yeah, and it's another thing not out in the open.
Yeah, and it's another thing I don't have to make a mount for. I'm just gonna do that. Realistically, it'd probably be fine with just the one pump, but, Volkswagen did it this way. I don't know that it was a good idea, but I'm gonna do it that way too, because then I just don't have to worry about it. Got a hose clamped on there, check the fit, fits in the tank just fine. So I'm just gonna send it, Teeny tiny little stubby hose. That looks pretty spiffy, huh?
Yeah, it looks great.
I like it. I'm glad I thought of mounting that second pump in the tank, because that saved me a good bit of time on figuring out some sort of other mount for it. For a moment of truth here. Will this hold diesel, or will it leak? far, the shifter doesn't do anything. Oh wait, hang on. Hold your horses, we might be onto something. Let's see if I can guess here. So that, in theory, if we get it to shift into gear, that will suddenly start spinning. The trike probably won't move really because that is all, the path of least resistance will be taken by that spinning freely. But that's good because I'm standing in front of things. All right, let's see here. That is exciting. Now, we get to find out if it will actually move. Whew, man, this is exciting. I didn't expect we'd get this far today, honestly. Okay. Well, here goes something. Oh, you know what else we should test while we have it set up to run here is, give me a couple minutes here and I'm gonna wire up our little joystick and we'll test the rear steer. And hook that white wire there up to some power. We'll have fully functioning rear steer. There we go. That's it. Look at that.
That's so cool.
So this just needs power, not ground. That makes sense. Yeah, let's turn to center. Wow, made so much more progress this week than I thought we might. Got it moving under its own power and got the rear steer working right. And finished the fuel tank. So many things. As tempting as it is to try and drive it, it has no brakes.